Alright, hello and welcome back to the version 4.0 beta. The last couple days I did see a lot of talk about the Herrscher the Void's new pre-arm, and people did compare this weapon to the other 5-star weapons that she has, pretty much mostly the previous signature weapon and Tranquil Arias, pretty much both weapons that people use on this character. And well, I was kind of really curious to see how are these weapons going to compare with one another. Pretty much all of these weapons will be matched against each other, and I think it will be really interesting to see their actual differences in most stages and in most combat stages in this game. Well, in the main game, on the live game, I have only her primary signature weapon. I don't have the Tranquil Arias in the live version, unfortunately, since, well, I didn't have that gacha luck. But all of these weapons, the previous two weapons, Tranquil Arias and the first signature weapon, are really good on this character. And people mostly used Arias for the ultimate boost. At least that's what they telling me. That's what they tell me. They use Tranquil Arias for the ultimate, pretty much because she will get a 50% boost, physical damage boost upon ultimate. And they use her classic signature weapon for the constant DPS. Now I'll start with the 6-star weapon with the new pre-arm, and I will run all the same Abyss stages for all 3 weapons, and I'll give each run 2 minutes, and well, I'll see how many floors I can clear with all of these weapons. And of course, starting with the 6-star weapon. Now, so far, this weapon does deal slightly more damage than the classic 5-star weapon, and it is no secret, everyone knows that the 6-star weapon was nerfed. This weapon was a lot more powerful before, when it was original, but they nerfed it for some reason, which I am at the moment, like, I'm not quite. It's not clear to me as to why it was nerfed, since this character is definitely in serious need of performance improvement, because she dropped from DPS to a support, and she pretty much disappeared from a lot of lineups in the game as a main DPS. People still use her, but a lot less compared to before. Well, I did clear the first floor. This is the second floor and second ultimate. I will try to time the ultimate and the Herrscher mode with the elf, because that's when I get the maximum DPS out of. That's when I get the maximum DPS out of the character. Well, the second floor coming down, and this is 1 minute and 35 seconds. Well, I would say pretty decent time, especially judging that I'm mostly fighting these mechas, and they are countering this character. The third ultimate, and yep, this floor is cleared. Okay, now on to the third floor. So this weapon did reach the third floor. Okay, that's pretty nice. And 2 minutes. Yep, we did hit the 2-minute mark. That means time to change weapons, and well, this was the 6-star weapon. Now I'll switch to the 5-star weapon, and let's see how it will perform against the same enemies, and of course same Abyss, pretty much same everything. Let's jump in. Okay, let's let the game finish loading. So so far, it all depends on how much better the pre-arm is compared to the other 5-star weapons. If the difference isn't like, in the end there is going to be that debate. Is this weapon actually worth it, judging by how much performance boost it actually gives, or are you good off without it? That's a really good question, and I think this will give a slight glimpse on what the real effects in combat are. On paper, when you look at the effects of the weapon appears to be absolutely destroying these two weapons in terms like on paper, not in actual performance, but on paper. Well, This is, I think, yeah, still the first floor, I think, and this ultimate will clear the first floor. Well, I would say there isn't that much of a difference. There is a difference, of course, but it isn't like too drastic for me to literally consider it myself to get the weapon at this moment. But of course, there is still 1 more minute left. Let's see what will happen. Well, so far everything is going pretty smooth. I mean, it mostly depends on how you play. Now, of course, I wish that I can literally replicate all runs, but it is kind of really difficult to do that. Especially since the locking mechanism in this game isn't the best, unfortunately, so it is hard to target the right enemy. But that's why I'm damaging all of them at once. So that's pretty much. So targeting the right enemy here doesn't matter much because I'm targeting all of them at once. And I think, yeah, 1 minute and 53 seconds, closing in on the 2 minute mark, and another ultimate. Let's see, and the 2 minute mark. Well, floor number, that was, I think, floor number 3. Okay, and now onto Tranquil Arias, the weapon that most people use on this character. Because of the superior ultimate, they use this weapon to bombard, as they say, a good bombardment weapon. A good weapon for high area damage, and it does boost the ultimate quite significantly. And well, I don't have it, but I know what people told me that they use this weapon on, which is really nice and of course really interesting. Okay, well, that was a really nice ultimate. Did a lot of damage. Okay. Well then, definitely I could say that there is a difference, of course, between the PRI-ARM and the 5-star weapons. I mean, consider it. I like to view it from this angle. It's a PRI-ARM, and as a PRI-ARM, it should as a PRI-ARM, it will of course be a lot more powerful than the 5-star and the 6-star. The point is, how much more is it powerful? How much more powerful is it? Is it like a minor boost, like a 1000, 2000 point boost? Or is it a major boost of 5000 points and up? That's the question. Minor boosts aren't kind of worth it, honestly. And I don't know how much more boost this weapon will give. The most accurate will be in Memorial Arena after. But as of now, the weapon does only offer a slight and minor improvement over these two weapons. It is slightly better, but not to the point of where I would be excited. I don't know how the original version of the weapon is, like how the non-nerfed weapon is. I didn't test it. I pretty much didn't play it when it wasn't nerfed, but I can only imagine how good this weapon was, how good this weapon could have been if it wasn't nerfed. Well, reached the 3rd floor there almost. That was interesting. So only a minor boost so far. And well, now the most accurate test will be on the Memorial Arena. Did pick Helmaru, and of course did pick the same team will be for all weapons, and same enemy will be for all weapons. And the first weapon, of course, will be the new PRI-ARM. The second one will be the signature weapon, and the third one, Tranquil Arias. Well, so far, I would say a pretty average damage. Pretty average damage done on the boss. Nothing to be too excited about. However, I noticed, and people did point this out, it did give a 2000 bonus damage per normal attack, compared to the normal 5-star Herrscher of the Herrscher voice weapon, which is a double pretty much. But in actual performance, I don't see it actually doubling so far. I would say my guess at this moment here is going to be a 2000 point difference at maximum. I don't feel like this will give a major boost even after. Like, it did feel, and it probably is a really good weapon to use if you don't have any other weapon probably. On Abyss, it was really good. On Abyss, all weapons worked pretty good. It just depends on how you play. And since I cannot replicate pretty much my all moves, since I make like thousands of moves per stage, that's kind of hard to replicate. So I have that margin of error always open, and that's why I said that the difference is minimal. Since if I would repeat the stage like 10,000 times and to get the exact same run, I would pretty much get a really close score. 26,000 points. Well, let's run it up at 26,800 points. Well, that wasn't too bad, but that wasn't impressive as well. That's pretty average, if you ask me. Pretty average. Well then, let's jump on the original 5-star weapon. Let's see how this weapon will do against this boss. I'm kinda afraid to see the score at the end, because if this weapon, if the PRI-ARM got only 26,000 points, what will this weapon give? Like, I would say 25,000 points at like maybe 26,000 points if I try hard enough. But I don't see the PRI-ARM giving a major boost over the original weapons. And of course, it will be very interesting to see how Tranquil Arias will perform. I'm mostly curious about Tranquil Arias, how it will perform, because I didn't use it much, only in beta tests, because I don't have it in the live version of the game, but I have it in the beta tests. And well, 7 HP bars. Well, definitely taking my time over here, because I again made I think I made a couple minor mistakes, but it's not too bad. Margin of error is always up, so that's why I'm pretty optimistic about this. Let's see. Well, boss is going down, definitely, that's true. And I'm kind of now debating with myself in my mind, why did they nerf the weapon? I mean, we have like other PRI-ARMs that are pretty broken, right? We have like, I don't like remember the exact name of what PRI-ARM is broken, because I don't use them. I'm not a fan of PRI-ARMs myself. I pretty much personally don't like the idea of PRI-ARMs because of a variety of problematics that they cause, and of course other questions that they can raise. So I cannot remember exactly which PRI-ARM is really ridiculous and really overpowered, but there are some really ridiculous and overpowered PRI-ARMs in the game at this moment. And I see no reason why this weapon couldn't be good and couldn't be overpowered as the other ones. And really interesting. Like, this is really interesting. And also the other weapon that also has a PRI-ARM, Tranquil Arias' PRI-ARM, is also dubbed one of the worst PRI-ARMs in the game. And you know what's really surprising? Like, I see a kind of a connection here. Why are the two pistols that are used on Herrscher the Void, both pre-versions of these pistols are bad? I wonder why. Why is that the case? Well, I was close with the points. 25,000 points. Well, I was pretty damn close, actually. That's a margin of maybe 1.5k difference in points. That's nothing, honestly. You can get the same score with a different team, and of course, if you try hard a little bit more, you can get even better score with the normal 5-star weapons, which is interesting. But again, really interesting topic. Why the two pistols that are used on Herrscher the Void, literally the only two pistols? Like, I know there's the third one, which name I forgot, that boosts physical damage, but I don't see people using it that much, but they use it. That's why I just will keep these three. These two, my apologies. Tranquil, Arias, and Keys of the Void. Why are the pre-versions of these weapons bad? Both of them surprisingly coincidentally being used on Herrscher the Void. I don't like, I don't know. That's something fishy. I don't know. Something really interesting going on there. Just saying. Since that's too much of a coincidence that literally both of these two weapons that are used on this character that they turn out to be bad pre-arms. I like see no reason for that, honestly, but that's the case. I don't know why they made it this way. That's a question that I cannot answer because I don't know. I wish I knew answers, but unfortunately I don't. Really interesting how still you can see the difference in the raw damage that's done by the weapon. That's true. That's there. I mean, it's still the six-star pre-arm will do more damage. That's true. It will do more damage, but the increasement compared to the previous weapons is kind of 1.5 thousand points. I mean, that's funny. Honestly, that's funny. I remember when I tested out one pre-arm from one of the previous characters. Again, I'm really sorry that I forgot the name of these pre-arms. They're at the top of my tongue. I have no idea what they're called. But I remember playing them just for fun, and I remember seeing a 5,000 to like 6,000 difference in points, and that's pretty major. But 1.5k points difference is nothing, and that can be achieved with a better team, of course. Well then, so far this boss is going down, and I'm really curious about the points. Yep, 25,000 points, slightly higher than the Keys of the Void, and almost touching similar waters as the pre-arm. Well then, I think it's time to tell you my conclusion about this. Honestly speaking, if you want to go for the weapon, you can go for the weapon. I will not like. If you want the weapon, you can go and get it. I pretty much, I don't know if I will get it. I mean, maybe, depends. If I want to, if I have materials, I will go for it just because I don't have anything better at this moment. But I think, is it like extremely necessary to get a weapon? Well, actually, I don't think that it is really necessary to get a weapon. Only if you don't have anything else to equip on this character, then you should go for the weapon. Or if you have only Keys of the Void, then I guess you could go for the weapon, because it will definitely be it will definitely do more damage. But it will be just a margin over the previous weapons that we already have in the game, which again I will repeat myself, is pretty interesting. Well then, with that being said, hope you enjoyed. It was my pleasure to play this for you, and well, as always, I'll see you next time. Take care.